Lots of anger on this week's Where Boro War. Kane says 2 seasons of complete and utter failure. Carrick is still living off those loan players carrying him 2 seasons ago. It is time for a change, and that's our topic this week. 4 to go. Plymouth, Sheffield Wednesday, Norwich and Coventry. Where are Boro going to finish this season? Lots of talk on putting round pegs in square holes in that Millwall game. What now for Carrick? And we're also choosing our player of the season. Lots to talk about, so let's get straight into it. Jonathan, that Millwall game is where we are going to start. Carrick getting lots of abuse online for putting Azaz on the wings, not starting players in the right positions. He doesn't help himself, does he?
No, I was there. I went to the Den on Saturday. Boro boys came down. We had a storming weekend until the second half, and then it all went a bit peaked on, didn't it? So, look, I don't know. Alex Neil said after the game, he said players win games. He said he did a bit of a wow, didn't he? He had a little bit of a pop at Carrick saying strategy and tactics and technical, etc. But players win games. And yeah, you can say they changed formation, they brought subs on, but their players made a difference and stepped up in the second half, you know? And yes, you could say Azaz was in the wrong place. You'd like to see Whitaker on the right, Bergzog on the left. It all makes sense, of course. But there's still 11 players on the pitch, and they still played against 11 players, and they were outdone in the second half. I don't care about the formations or the technicals, tacticals, whatever. They were outdone, outfought, outdone. Simple as that. And they weren't good enough. And Millwall did a job on us, and that's what I saw, and that's what I came away with. First half, we had them in the sense of neither team did too much, and we just did less, slightly better than they did. But second half, they stepped up, and we didn't.
I can't fathom Boro out. I mean, here we are, 36 weeks in. So I watched the Leeds game, Craig, and I thought you were really good. I thought there was no way you go to Millwall and ever come away with anything less than a point. What is it about you, particularly away from home?
Well, it's not just away from home. It's just, what is it with us? I really don't know. I can't work out what the problem is, what the issue is. I mean, the Leeds game, we started so slowly. And like Jonathan just said, playing Azaz on the left side doesn't work. He needs to be in that number 10, where he's kind of can be a third midfielder and link up to the striker. But playing him out wide against Leeds, he just didn't have the legs to track back. Again on Saturday, playing him out there on the left-hand side, it doesn't work. I mean, I've talking to a few supporters over the last week, and the problem with the left, people are saying Bergzog plays better on the left. But when you play Bergzog on the left, then iling-junior can't kind of overlap, which is what he's been doing good. So you need a left winger to kind of come inside, if that makes sense. But you still need the legs, and Azaz doesn't have it. But I'm glad that Iniacho got dropped because he was bad in the Leeds game. He had a little spark, didn't he, the other week, and he got his goal and played okay against Blackburn, but it's not enough. We're carrying him.
There's 2 words that have come up in lots of social media tweets this week for both of you. Jonathan, the first one is intensity. Tyler says, get Carrick out. Playing players completely in the wrong positions. No intensity whatsoever. Absolutely, season is over. I'm not having that the season's over yet, and I'll go through why in a second. But yeah, intensity of everything really. We've talked about before about free kicks and getting stuck in, and even the intensity from the sidelines of Carrick, who doesn't come across as having that passion that you see from other managers. Do you just want to see your side just show a little more teeth?
Yeah, you would. I don't deny that they're not trying. I'm not going to accuse them of that. It's just how it looks from our perspective. And you've got to say, second half Millwall, their goal, for example, our possession, we're ball watchers. I'm sick of seeing us all the. If you watch our players' heads, they're all looking at the ball. And that fella who scored the goal, he just jogs into the box. He's just hanging around. Morris goes over to the side to try and get involved in that play. Hackney's just jogging, watching the ball, oblivious to the fella who's still in the box, and and takes his game. Wow, that just fell off.
That's symbolic, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And that you know what I mean? It's like, well, what the hell are you doing? Why? Where's the bit that says I've got to get back? Where's the bit that says I need to be involved in this? Where's the bit that says I haven't got the ball? I need to do everything I can to get it back? versus the tactical, technical, I need to be in this position, we need to do this, we need to do that, etc. Where's just the raw aggression, the leadership? That doesn't seem to be there. Where's the nous, I guess, the footballing nous? And, it's a young team, they're inexperienced, and they come across as naive, I have to say. And, you could do with a couple of leaders with a bit more nous, a few more Johnny Howsons out there, that's for sure. And it's not to say you want to kick 7 shirts of shit out of everyone. It's just to say you want someone with a bit more football nous and football brain who says, you know what, I need to be here, I need to do this, I need to be aware of that, what's going on.
Yeah, and you keep giving points, don't you, to your playoff rivals as well. And would you count Millwall? Do you think Millwall are good enough to finish in the top 6, Craig? Just out of interest?
Well, they're in the mix, aren't they now? They've got a chance. Yeah, I mean, they've got a chance. They can get a result against anybody at their place. I mean, I haven't looked at their fixtures, what they've got left. But at this point, if you put that run together in the last 4 games, yeah, I mean, I know there's only... Well, for Boro, I would say that we're playing for one, like for 6th. I think 5th's gone now, hasn't it? I think the gap's a bit too big now. So, yeah, we're just holding on to 6th. I mean, I think they'll be the same. So there's about 4 teams looking for one position. But, yeah, they're definitely there.
Okay. Let's go through then what's left to come then. Plymouth this Friday then. So they are ready to come and boo Whittaker out the building, but they are hoping that they can get something from the game. Then you go to Hillsborough on a Monday. Now, Sheffield Wednesday have just lost 5 in a row at Hillsborough. Obviously, they are in a little bit of disarray given what's going on at board levels there. So there's something to be positive about. Norwich have down tools already. Their fans are already saying that. So there's 3 games there before you even get to Coventry, which are all winnable and 9 points potentially up the table. Yes, Jonathan?
Been here before, didn't we say this back in February, the end of Feb, after we said 50? We did. We put a couple of wins together, and it was all looking rosy for a bit, wasn't it? And then we did what we've been doing all season, and we were inconsistent. So, the same bloody answer, isn't it? Of course, it's possible, but based on what we've seen and based on the stats of this season, no, we're not going to do that, because we haven't been consistent enough. We haven't got the consistency. On paper, you could say we've got a team who can do this, that, and the other, but they've proved that they're not quite capable. So they're a top half team in a poor championship, but they're not a top 6 team, and that's why we're not top 6.
Okay. I'm seeing lots more tweets like this, and this does worry me for Carrick's position, Craig. John says Carrick has absolutely 0 in-game management skills. We're controlling the game. We need a cutting edge. The Millwall team make 4 subs. Game changes. They've got energy. We need to react and make changes ourselves. It's obvious to everybody watching that game, except Carrick, and then we concede. Does he survive? Let's presume that Boro finish 7th and just outside the playoffs. Does he survive this summer?
I don't know. Do you know what? I think.
Would you want him to? Or would you want him here in August yourself?
Yeah. I think I do. I know he's had a lot of transfer windows, and this will be over 2.5 years at the end of the season. I think
he's the longest serving championship manager.
Yeah, but I think we're not far away. I think a couple of signings, like Jonathan said, a bit of experience in the midfield. Obviously, we need another striker. A Doak on the right is a huge miss. I mean, he was an absolute diamond for us. But a couple of signings, and there's no reason why we can't, and get obviously some injuries back, and there's no reason why we can't be solid and we can't be consistent. We can't keep clean sheets because he's done it before. He's put us on runs before, and we've played some unbelievable football under Carrick. And then when you look at the other side and you think, well, who, if he was to go, who is there who we could get in? And under the kind of umbrella that like Middlesbrough use with the kind of like head of Kieran Scott, the head of football, and the business side of the club where we're buying young and promising players and sell them for profit, who would come in under that and work at the club with the premise of, to be honest, in the transfer window, you might lose your best. Well, you're probably going to lose your best player if the price is right. He's gone. So yeah, I think I would like him to stay again. because I've seen enough of him over the past 2 years, really.
Okay. I think that's a fair point. Well, kind of 2 minutes to say it. I think Carrick should say it for the simple reason is he might be the longest serving manager, but he's still new into his tenureship in my book. I know 3 years is considered a long time in football, but if you're in business, you'd be like, no, he's still learning. My question is, who's helping him and who's coaching Carrick to be a better manager? Who's advising him? And two, if I was Stevie Gibson and I'm doing the end of season, I'd be listening very intently about what Carrick's going to do next season and what difference he's going to make and what changes he's going to make in his style and what he's learned from this season. And that would probably, we're not going to hear this as fans, but that would form my opinion about whether Carrick stays or goes, is how he performs in front of Gibson about what he's going to do differently and what he's learned.
Yeah, he's not very flexible, is he? Do you think? Like when you, sorry, Mark, about that tweet that you've just said about he doesn't make changes. Like people around us where we sit and at the Riverside, there's a running joke that he doesn't make a substitution till at least 70 minutes, no matter what's going on in the game. 70 minutes, and then obviously when we had that bad run, January, February time. And he I think he brought someone on at half time, and everyone was like, "Jesus Christ, what's happening here? What's the matter with him?" But he won't. It was just a one-off because of the bad spell we were in. And then, again on Millwall, he didn't change things up. But he's sticking to that formation as well. He's so stubborn with his formation. When we could have went to a back three, wing back, he seems so stubborn to change when things aren't even working.
Okay. There was a tweet, I didn't grab it, unfortunately, that said Sean Dyche would get this Boro side promoted, no problem. Would you entertain anything like that? Like no. A very pragmatic, dogmatic style that it won't be pretty to watch, but you go, no? Okay. Right.
Well, he's got a sexy voice, though.
You know what I mean? You know what it reminds me of a little bit sometimes with the fans. It's a bit like when you're doing the kids football and you got the dads on the sideline all being master tacticians and Pep Guardiolas, aren't you? And sometimes you get a bit of that with the fans, And I accept that Carrick knows a hell of a lot more about football and what to do than I do. I might not like what's happening, but I still have to respect that he's been in the game a hell of a long time, and whilst he's still learning, he's still got a bit of something about him upstairs, I think.
Okay. Right. So we will see how the Plymouth game then goes, of course, this week. Join us in 7 days' time. We'll review that. Yeah, they say Whittaker. They're hoping that Whittaker has an absolute stinker, of course. We're going to do the player of the season now, so you can help us out with this in the comments. Grab your keyboard, grab your pads, let us know which player gets the Middlesbrough Player of the Year. Now, we've been asking all the other fans who the Championship Player of the season is, and one Borough player has stood out for lots of fans of other teams. I'll give you his name in a second. Let's see if he matches up with what you guys are going to say. Craig, who is the Middlesbrough 24-25 Player of the season for you?
Do you know what? I'll probably... Hackney's had a great season, even through the bad spell. He was driving the team forward. He never shied away. But I think the impact that Doak had on the team, he just transformed the way we played. He was an outlet. He was so fast. He was direct, two-footed. He could come inside, outside. I didn't see a left-back who could cope with him. And when we lost him... And as he was one of them wingers that stayed on the touchline. And that would give us more room in the middle as well. So he was creating more. So then Doak's gone. We have Whittaker or Bergzog who cut inside. And this it's too congested. So I think he's the biggest miss. And we've missed him so much. And so I think I'd probably go to Doak.
Jonathan?
Yeah, I think Craig's captured it. You got to give a mention. And the reason I can't pick these lads because they haven't been around long enough. Travers, I think, has done well. I like Howson coming back. Of course, Doak, he was fantastic. The only difference with Craig, I would pick Hackney, just because I think he's been good. Out of possession, he's got a lot of questions to answer, but in possession against Leeds, even though we lost, against Blackburn, even first half against Millwall, he was our man, and he's been that for a wee while now. And Morris has been an adequate support for him, but I'd go with Hackney just because he's been around a bit longer. If Doak had played all season, I'd go with it.
Okay. It was Doak. That lots of fans said they just couldn't cope with him. What a player. Hopefully you can keep him away from Liverpool and sign him permanently. We're asking we're asking you guys though the reverse of that. Who's the best player that you've seen against Borough this season? The one player that you've watched in this Riverside or away from home, of course, and touched me and gone, wow, I wish they actually had a red shirt on. Jonathan?
I got two. I asked my lad about this, and I said, "Who do you think?" And I got to say, purely for the 2 goals he scored against us when we were 3-3 against Norwich, that Borja Sainz fella, he scored 2 absolute belters against us, so he sticks in my mind. And then the Sunderland fella, Lafay, I thought he was pretty decent, I got to say, when we played him. So them 2 are the ones who kind of stand out for us.
Craig?
Yeah, I'm going to go for Dan James. The last week when they were at our place, he's so direct. He's the pace, and obviously he got the goal. And Iling-junior couldn't live with him. He's so direct. He's so fast. He's so fit. He'll sprint like that in the 90th minute. I seen him again at Elland Road when we went in there in the cup earlier in the season. And although we won, he was every time he got the ball, he was electric. So I've seen him like in the flesh twice, but a couple of times obviously on TV as well. And yeah, he's a cut above. He's a Premier League player, really.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you very much. Right, good luck against Plymouth then. I'll get your season back on track, and we'll see you in 7 days' time. Have a great Easter weekend, everyone. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, press the subscribe button and the like button just before you go. Have a good one, everyone.